So okay.
Hey, we're recording. So, everyone, no introduction necessary. Wonderful Elena Danaan is with me for the third time. I'm so blessed and happy to see her again. And the internet is amazing today.
Happy to
Yay!
see
Elena, first of all, I want to tell you, and I would like everyone to go to Elena's channel and scroll, especially through the last few videos, which I will just say were incredibly powerful and important to watch. And the channel will be attached down below. The link is Elena's Danaan channel. Very powerful, informative videos, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. So, Elena, hello again.
Hello, Anya. I'm so glad to speak to you again.
I have 5 questions today. I'm really prepared. So I was thinking
Let's go.
to start with this question. Does extraterrestrials have emotions? And if they do have emotional scale, what kind of emotions are those emotions?
So yes, it depends on the species. Um, Most species, everything that is alive has emotion. Everything that has a soul has emotions. Now, of course, it is on different scale, a different range. You know, it's like the frequencies or the notes of music.
Yeah.
You have octaves of emotions depending on the evolution of the soul. I should do like this. Um, then you have life forms that are synthetic or clones. They have or no emotion
No emotion. Yeah.
because it hasn't been programmed in them, or either very basic,
Mhm.
like fear. Fear is a protection emotion, things like that, for instance. Um, Different species I have interacted with have different ranges of emotion. I can give you some examples. Um, Depending also on the density, that means the level of consciousness on Earth,
Yeah.
human species on Earth has emotions very linked to instinct and what we call the monkey mind,
Yes.
the animal. So we are going to have anger, envy, jealousy, fear. It's very territorial, all the territorial and defensive and hunting emotions. When other beings, when they are not subject to this low level of emotion, animal emotion, they have evolved higher. They don't need to hunt. They have just
Yeah.
separate with millenniums of evolution and hundreds of millenniums of evolution.
Yes.
They've gotten away upwards. um, they do not feel these feelings, less and less as they evolve. Now, I've met species who still have, for instance, anger, but they retract it very, very quickly. They have control of the emotions, and
Mhm.
it's not as dramatic as for us, for instance, here on Earth.
Yeah.
Um, for instance, I'm thinking about, as I'm speaking to you, the Ahil. It's the race of the tall Nordic aliens from the Pleiades, from Era. Um, these ones they have only 3,000 years evolution more than us. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. But they've already evolved so much. Um, when they have anger or fear, I see the people I know, they express it,
Mhm.
but it lasts very fast,
Mhm.
like few minutes, 5 minutes,
Mhm.
and they retake control and it's gone. It's flowing. They never retain emotions. They feel them.
Mhm.
It comes,
Mhm.
but
Mhm. They don't
it
get attached.
goes.
They don't get
It's
attached
flowing.
to it. Yeah. 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 Wow.
You know, it flows.
Mm.
It flows. And some higher species again. I know an Agaroth is very. It's an extraterrestrial from Orion group, a good one. He's even more evolved than the Ahil, and he never feels anger, fear, impatience, even never, ever. It's not even in his constitution.
Wow.
It's always peaceful, and everything's all right.
So that's what I want to
So,
ask you. They have like a dominant frequency, like a dominant emotion.
yes,
Is it
yes.
is it more like a calm, peaceful, or is more excited? How is that?
Okay, yes, yes, that's interesting. So the Egaroth is my friend Anax that I uh, in actually in my book is an Egaroth from Mesa. Oh, just the page opens.
Oh, yes, I can
This
see
is an
him. Yes, yes, yeah.
okay.
Okay, good, good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, he is way more evolved. So he's dominant. He has dominant frequency or emotion. It's calm,
Mm.
calm. He's a very loving being. Love is very radiant from him. But if I would say the calm and peace just prevails on everything, he's like this all the time. Whatever happens, it meant to happen, and it will be well. Don't worry. It's always like this.
Oh,
I know. Thorhan, with who is an Ahel from the Pleiades, the people who are only 3,000 years ahead of us. Um, he has all the feelings, but he has never, some he hasn't anymore. Like, he cannot feel jealousy,
okay.
um, anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
but he can be scared or
Okay.
he can be angry, but that goes very fast. Um, Radiant with love also, but he hasn't got that calm. He can be calm, but him and his people, I've noticed, they have a prominent energy slash emotion,
Yes. Yes.
which is sort of hyperactivity. It's
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
hyper, like always.
There is like a movement. There is more movement
Yes,
to it.
yes, and it's vibrant. So it's very tiring to be in there with them because you need to follow. Okay, so, what's up? Yeah, okay. They're like, that's funny. That's funny.
So may I ask you, Elena? Okay, this is, oh my gosh, I love this. So when you were saying this, it came back to my mind that there is this scale, emotional scale by Hawkins. Okay, Dr. Hawkins. Not
Oh
the.
yes,
So there is a measurement,
yeah. The
and
other one.
like the lowest is like a shame and depression, but then actually anger, the energy is already moving. So there is a certain like a threshold when you reach like you are I think like accepting, not even hopeful, like acceptance, and then you are hopeful, and then you go up, and the highest is enlightenment. So I think your friend from Pleiades, he is like always above, but maybe the other one who rescue you, right? He rescue you.
Yeah, my friend from the Pleiades,
Yeah.
he is the one who rescued me.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, okay, okay. So he's like high fly.
Yes, always like high
So
five. Yes,
no, but then okay, so
yes,
now let's talk about this. They
yes.
have those spaceships and they move. They have their ships, okay?
Yeah.
Now those ships are the extension, like they connect and they actually move those ships with the thought forms, right?
Yes, yes.
So how those ships are moving if they have such a different frequency emotions? Is it the same like
No, no. It's so yes, it's different. The mind is the navigation, and the ship is powered by a generator which use energy, which is totally something else. Then that has nothing to do with the pilot. The pilot will only
oh,
navigate, set destination, and tell the ship where to go.
okay,
That's all he does.
okay.
Tells the ship where he starts it. He does like driving a car. It's like if you drive a car, your intention and your hands are going to drive the car.
Yep.
but there's an engine and petrol that will power the car. You know, it's not you, it's not the driver that
No,
powers the
but when
car.
you're upset driver, it affects the car.
Yes, it affects the driving. So there's something to understand as well. There's different levels in the mind. I've learned that with them regarding to telepathy. Um, there are different levels, layers in the mind that they use for different things. You have the emotional mind, which is pretty much in the same space as level as the thought and emotion mind. It's one thing, and it's you, how you are, what you think, how you react. It's your personality.
Mhm.
Then there's another layer. It's the intention mind. It's where they locate their telepathy, where they use telepathy. They connect to this other layer of the mind, which is not anymore interfering with thoughts and emotions.
Mhm.
It is like talking. When you speak with your mouth and voice, you use your voice, your throat, your larynx and mouth and everything. When you think, you use your brain. It's two different things. And it's the same like for thought, emotional brain and mind, and um, communication, telepathy, brain to brain, mind to mind, um, communication. It's
Yes.
not using the same area in the mind, the
Okay.
same thing.
Okay.
And it's the same with piloting a ship. They will use this telepathic level, well, or
Mm-hmm.
area, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
that has no connection, that they know they can disconnect totally from the thought emotion. So they can have thought and emotion in the same time as they communicate telepathically, because they use two different tools. It's very interesting.
Yes. But
So
now, when we are receiving the thought forms, because our thoughts, I would say even a majority of our thoughts is not really our own, um, is either programmed subconsciously or is from the field. So,
yeah,
so,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
and that's like almost like a wall in a way. Um, Now, so when we meditate, when we calm this down, that noise, then we open up the space for this telepathic. Now, is this on the heart level as well?
No, the telepathic. Oh, yeah, that's another connection. That's not telepathy. The heart connection, the heart communication. That's totally different. That's by emotions. So we forget about telepathy, which use language. It's like a radio signal.
Yep.
It's like radio. Now, let us forget about this. There's something else. Emotional language, which will be a communication by feelings,
Mm,
images, sounds. It won't use voice or language. You can carry it by voice. You can talk or send a telepathic message, carrying in the same time the heart language. When you couple it, when you couple the feeling, the emotional connection with energy, you send energy with it, and words, either spoken, either telepathic.
mm, mm,
That is the light language.
mm,
Three things: emotion, energy,
mm.
language.
I
That
love
is
it.
the
This is
light
powerful.
language.
This is powerful. This is creation.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love this, Elena.
The language will give the codes and the structure, the blueprint for what you send, what you create,
But
and
you
what
know,
you.
that's so important because people often think that just by repeating affirmation it's enough. No, because actually from my experience, I think some people agree. When you feel for something, even without saying it, there is almost impossible it will not happen. Like it's gonna manifest, you already created it with your emotion. But if you speak and you don't feel anything behind the words, nothing's gonna happen.
No, 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 no. No, manifesting is you don't need to use the language, the third one, but manifesting is energy and emotion and thought. You need to put an emotion. Well, yes, you use the language, because if you manifest, I don't know, I want, I I decide that this person is going to heal. Uh, you said it. That's language, intention. Then you put love, the desire of seeing this person healing, and then as well, third thing, you send energy
Mm.
that you channel from source and you send.
Mhm.
That has all the chances to work. Unless it's destiny and it's life contract. That's something else. But if it's not life contract, it will work. Yeah.
Thank you. Elena, tell me, who
If I know.
introduced the super technologies like those healing med beds and other things? Who has introduced this to humanity?
The Galactic Federation, mainly the Umit. Umit are people from Wolf constellation. They are very much involved in the Galactic Federation to communicate with Earthlings, people on Earth. They are very, very skilled in science, but as well in adapting scientific knowledge to local, more primitive civilization. They can live in our atmosphere. They have all facilities to do. So that's them mainly. There are other races as well who uh, participate to that. I know the Tal and Silozi from Alpha Centauri, but um, um, I I don't know all of it. Who, but I know the Umid. The Umid are tall, blonde people with a high forehead. So they are different from the Erahil from the Pleiades. These ones they look like us,
Mm.
same size, but high forehead. That's how you recognize them. They are generally fair hair, but not always. So these are the ones who bring the knowledge. Uh, Mainly, there are other ones, but I don't know them.
How, okay, how did this all come to you? Did you experience all of them, or like was it like a snapshot, or how was it? Because like this is from your literally tangible experience. Did you like meet all of them, or I'm just like,
No. In fact, it's Thorhan, my friend from the Pleiades, who my rescuer, who told me all this, and we are in very close telepathic communication
mm,
practically every day. And when we were writing my book, we agreed that he would give me knowledge about different extraterrestrial races involved with Earth. And as I have a talent for drawing, we use this. So telepathically connected, he could send me pictures and show me through either his thought how he remembered a being that he had met. So he was remembering it and like focusing on this image until I really memorize it and I was drawing it very quickly. Or either he was looking at a screen where he had researched for this particular species,
mm,
and there was a photo of an individual, and he was looking at it, and I was watching through his eyes, because we can do that. We can look through each other's eyes when we want. So that's how I saw them. I know what they look like, and I haven't met all of them. I've seen one Umit man once on Thorhan's orbital station, He was just passing in the background, and I recognized him from what he had showed me previously as we were doing the book. So that's how I know.
I love this. I want to say hello to him. Amazing. Um, is there a deadline for us to, I don't think if I want to use these words carefully because I don't think there is such a thing as an end to something. I think there is rather a transition into something on a higher, better, evolved frequency. So, is there a deadline for certain power that used to run to be dissolved more and more and more and more and more to the point that is irrelevant?
um, 2022 December, uh, winter solstice. Um, I don't know why, but it is in many ancient predictions. But more than all, there are people, extraterrestrial beings, who have foreseen this window, and they have alerted the Federation, Galactic Federation, to do something about it. These people are one of the 140 races, the most evolved in this galaxy. They are the Andromedan Council, and they can see the future. And they saw that they contacted Earth themselves. They still connect to people and talk to people, but particular people that they choose. I'm not one of them, but there are some few people on Earth they communicate to, who can pass messages. But they've contacted people on Earth. They had contact with the Russian government. I don't remember when, it was maybe in the 40s, I think. And they said the
Was it
window of opportunity.
Eisenhower, Elena? Eisenhower?
No, that was in Khrushchev in Russia.
Oh, in
It
Khrushchev.
was at the same time. Yes, it was at the same time. They said that humanity had a window of opportunity between 2017 and 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And during this window of opportunity, and Thorhan has confirmed to me all of this because we speak about that sometimes. Um, during this window of opportunity, we have humanity of Earth as the opportunity to free themselves from slavery.
Yep.
Uh, they are helped because the two armies are uneven. The bad baddies are very much more powerful than humans, of course. The technology is involved, and it's not comparable. So the Galactic Federation is helping secretly some military factions to fight against the occupants, the extraterrestrial slave masters, I would say. And so the war is still going on, and they upstairs, I'd say, how I call them, they are very optimistic. They say it's not because you are optimistic that you have hope that you must stop fighting. You are optimistic because you know that because you fight, you will win. So there are as well, I know there are many prophecies who say also earth prophecies, who say that in this time, uh, humanity is shifting on a new timeline. It's the end of a world and the beginning of a new world. But it's always positive, because end of the world, it's end of the known world, end of the world as we know it, which in a way it's good because it wasn't really working.
Yes.
Uh, and the new world. where humanity is free. The thing is, at the moment, it's not finished. It's still going to we're still going to go through scary moments, confusion, but we must remain still in the storm. Know what we want. Refuse fear. I know we've always already spoken about that. So
Yes. Are they
yeah.
going to? They are not going to. Um, how to say this? They will make sure that the outcome is positive.
Yes, 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 yes. Because you know what will happen? There are many possibilities.
Mm.
Humanity wakes up because, okay, the aim of all this is that humanity get liberated from slavery. It's not it's not about just physical liberation, like clearing the underground bases, kicking the grays from the moon and then Mars and stuff. It's not just about that. It's about humanity's evolution in consciousness, that everybody wakes up, that they realize they've been fooled, that they realize they've been manipulated, and that they stand for themselves suddenly and say, hey, now stop. I'm a free human being and I do whatever I want and I am in full power. Um, that's the thing. So the aim is that we wake up. So they allow the dark to show themselves. If we don't wake up enough, because it's super obvious, it's more and more obvious, but
Yes.
if still people
Yes.
doesn't wake up, they will allow the dark to get even more obvious because it's needed, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
until we damn wake up, you know.
Yes. Yes.
So what will happen if we wake up, we say, okay, we refuse fear, we refuse now, we stand up against the
Tyranny. Tyranny.
tyranny, authoritarian tyranny, thing like that. Okay, brilliant. We've done it, and they are our allies upstairs are going to be very proud of us and manifest themselves even more. Uh, if that doesn't happen, people uh, just are decide, because free will, we have free will, decide that after all, no, they like it like that. Why not? Good. I have good internet. I have this. I have that. Well, you know, when you don't learn a lesson, it's gonna come back and hit you harder
Yes.
because humanity is in an abusive relationship with the deep state. So if we don't get away from it, it's gonna become harder. And they don't want that. They do whatever they can to wake us up. So imagine now, we've lost the cut it at the if the word doesn't suit. If the I won't say the new, it's not, for me it's not new world or order, I would call it rather alien world order, slave world order. So if these ones win, if the bad ones win, um will be humanity, that's it. That if we don't have any other help, we are done, doomed, and we cannot ever again
But I cannot
get
see
out of
that,
it.
Elena. I cannot
Wait,
see that.
if that happens,
Hmm.
our allies, the Galactic Federation of Worlds, won't, of course, leave us like that.
Mm.
They will have two choices, though, which they still don't know what they would do,
Mhm.
because it's a big dilemma. The two
Mm.
choices are the Orion Alliance and the Stikar Empire, who are the invaders, are the two most powerful empires of the galaxy. They are huge. They are them both together, they're way more powerful than the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Way more powerful. So, starting a war. So, starting a war or leaving it. Fine, fair enough. You've won. We go. Or starting a war to liberate Earth, physically, militarily, with starting a war. They don't want that because Earth is going to be a battlefield between all these alien forces that's gonna destroy everything. And that's not gonna be good. And they're not sure to win. But you know, when we've got into these discussions with Thorhan, he's a military, he knows, and he said that, you know, that's just talking, he says, because he says that he's convinced that that won't happen, that we're already on the good path,
I
and
like
we
him. I like him.
yes, and and yes, and we must not worry. We must keep on waking up everyone, and we'll be fine.
Don't you think that we are far too ahead in this? I'm not saying it's over by all means, but I'm saying we are too far ahead
I
to lose,
think
to lose in a way,
no, we're in the middle of it.
in the middle of it. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's not over. I mean, the storm is raging.
So would
It's
you
not
say
over.
that within the next, let's say, 3 years or 2 years, that energy would be dissolved?
Hopefully, yeah,
Okay.
it should. It should, but I don't know. I don't know. I pass on what I repeat what I hear. Although I personally have visions sometimes.
Mm,
Few months ago, I think it was in December or January, around this time, many people on Earth have received a same vision. It was broadcasted by above. They broadcasted this vision to everyone,
mhm,
which was the world partying, celebrating, joy all over the planet. People dancing in the streets saying, "We've won, it's over, it's over." People hugging each other and music in the streets and everywhere. And that's something that really struck me. I received it as well, and it was like, wow, that's the future. And they've seen it as well. That's gonna happen, but we need it. It's not because we know it's gonna happen, but we, you know, it's the objective. That's it. I'd say it's the objective.
I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you. Okay, let me see because I have two more questions. Someone has asked me, someone who follows me, I think she's a grandmother and she has a grandson who is really interested. Is a young boy. I don't remember how old, but a child who's interested to learn about aliens and extraterrestrials. And I was thinking next time I talk to Elena, I will ask Elena, what would you recommend for a child? Is there a book or is it a movie or something? What would you recommend for a child who's interested in this topic?
Um, I do not know any children book. I would recommend that first he start to study the basics of astronomy.
Mhm,
Yes, children book about the basics of astronomy explained to young persons, because that's the basics before starting to know more about aliens. First, learn how what is a solar system, what are the laws of gravity, all these things, what is a galaxy, what is a constellation. Once he knows the basics, he can really now picture in his head and start to take on, take
mhm.
in knowledge about aliens. But
Yeah,
first, and that's the you know, with people in general, that's something that strikes me, surprises me, the lack of knowledge, the ignorance of people in astronomy. If you are interested in aliens, please inform yourselves about the basics. People don't even know what a galaxy is. I mean, inform yourselves about the basics. I'm not talking about flat earth. I have many enemies.
I watched the video. I watched the video.
But that's what as a child you I would recommend the basics of astronomy.
Thank you, Elena. One more question, and that will be it for today. And I'm grateful for your time. You know, I'm very grateful for your time. When we look into the sky and we see the stars and we see the constellations, what are we really seeing?
We see a light that has different, um, from the past. We see the past because the more a star is distant, the more ancient is the light, because the light travels to come here. So a star that is very far, uh, may if the star is like, I don't know, 100 light years from us, you will see, the how it what you will see 100 light years ago. It was like this.
Oh,
It's sometimes the sky may not really be as we see it
mm,
in the present,
mhm.
because the light is has traveled to come to
It's so beautiful.
to
You
us.
know, I heard this once that actually the stars represent our ancestors, like
Oh, that's lovely.
the souls. And I'm like, this is incredible because I love to look in the sky when there's, you know, a lot of stars and I see the movement. Oh, you know, one more question. Oh my God, just came to me.
This is not far from reality, and the stars represent our ancestors. Hmm.
No, is it, wow. Okay, so I've experienced amazing. I've experienced this twice in my life, very profoundly. When I saw the, how you say, like the shooting star.
Mm,
Can you tell
yes.
me, because I want to know from you, I felt this on the very deep soul level when I saw this. I knew it was like a sign for me, but what does this really represent?
Well, there are two levels of understanding of this phenomenon. A shooting star is a little piece of rock entering the atmosphere and consuming itself with the friction of the air. So it enters in combustion and just and disintegrates, and it goes fast because it just falls on Earth by attracted by the gravity of the planet. So that's the fact, the reality of it. But then put an observer like yourself,
Mhm.
the observer will transform this reality, because it will still be a piece of rock entering the atmosphere, but the fact that the observer is here in that precise moment and by chance sees this thing, it will represent something for the observer, magical.
Yeah,
It will represent a synchronicity.
yeah,
The rock that falls doesn't care about people that will see it. It just goes and dies in the air. But the person, for the person, it has a whole spiritual
yeah,
dimension. It represents something
yes.
that is not attached to the rock, but the rock becomes part of the person. The fact, that it comes, and that's our way. That's a very interesting and extraordinary way to explain how we see the reality. The reality we see, it is how we interpret it. You know, so that's very a very good point.
Thank you, Elena, so much. I'm so happy and blessed to came across you on this path.
Oh, me too.
And we gonna win this
Yes.
for the
Oh, yes.
better future and for the absolutely incredible evolution of humankind.
Yes, our friends upstairs, they are our allies of the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the other councils. They are very positive. And Thoran told me a few days ago, he said, we wouldn't be here fighting and dying and risking everything if we wouldn't have hope. So that's it. So if they have hope and they risk their life for us, why wouldn't we have hope and
Yes,
fight for ourselves?
exactly. And
You
I
know?
sometimes wonder, aren't they really representation of our future selves? So if they are there already, if they are our future selves, it means we made it. We are there.
They are not. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they are our future self, but they are an example of how we can become.
Okay. Okay.
Because there are different species coming from different times. So from different places. Sorry, from different places. Um, but they are example. Oh, I've been shown how humanity will look
Let
like
me
if
tell.
we make it in millions of years,
Yeah.
when we will have conquered other worlds and set up colonies on other planets and made of this world a wonderful, unified, peaceful world. And we will have our own federation, like in Star Trek, which was not as sci-fi as imaginary anyway. These so the human of the future have been shown taller, slimmer. Uh, the skin will be more pale and bluish, a bit blue, shades of pale gray to blue, no hair, bigger eyes, bigger head. You see how we represent the Arcturians
Mhm.
in the iconography, New Age iconography? Well, the Arcturian, the Ohorai, they are really like this. Bigger head, bigger eyes, bluish skin, white to blue, tall and skin. That would be how humanity would evolve. I've been shown.
I
I
love
will
this.
paint
Elena,
it.
thank you. You are such a blessing. And my viewers appreciate you so much. And I really am so grateful to meet you and to be with you on this journey. And I hope we connect soon again. Sending you all the love and all the good energy. And please show us your book again. Show us your
Yes.
book.
Oh, with pleasure. So it is called A Gift from the Stars, Guide of Alien Races.
Okay.
Oops, here
That
we
now
go.
it's good. Now it's perfect. Yes.
A gift from the stars,
Yes. I see it. A gift from the stars. And this is on
and
Amazon. I will attach the links below. And
Amazon, and
yes,
Barnes and Noble for the US, if you prefer.
okay. And you're in
I
the
apologize. Yeah,
process of writing.
sorry.
You're writing the second book. So we.
Yes, I'm writing a second book, which is the follow-up of this one, because since I've written this one in 4 months, it's my story plus all the knowledge I've gained about the alien races. But the second one is about what happened after I wrote this book.
Mm.
All my adventures and the people I met, such as
Oh,
Val
that would
Thor,
be great.
Val Thor, and hybrid children, and plenty of stories. I've been many places since, and I can't wait to tell you all these stories.
And we will be here to launch the second book too, for sure.
Oh, with pleasure.
Thank you, Elena.
Oh.
And I love your hoodie. You can buy. We can buy this hoodie too, right?
Yes. Oh, this one. It's the Andromedan Council. Yes, I designed. Because I've been shown all these symbols of all these alliances, I put them in my book, and I decide to. People found that very cool, so I say, okay, because people were asking, say, okay, I made T-shirts and hoodies with the symbols. So you have all the. I think I have, yeah, the
All the
T-shirt, the
merchandise.
Galactic
Yeah, I love it.
Federation.
I saw.
That's the Galactic Federation. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Maybe I should have one
Many.
too, so I will feel more empowered. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elena. God bless you. All the best. And we will connect very soon. And
Yes.
all the links, everyone, are below. Subscribe to Elena's channel. She's doing so much work lately. All the lives, all the interviews. So busy. I wonder, like, does she ever sleep? But I,
Barely. Barely, believe me. There's a lot of makeup on this face.
So beautiful, and your energy is always, you are like this friend of yours who is always like calm. You are already there.
Anax, yes. Oh, I have his DNA in me, so sometimes.
Thank you, Elena, so much. And
Thank you,
we
Anya.
talk soon.
Talk soon. I love you very much.